Hello, I'm Myrza Sison, and welcome to Join Lang ng Join. I won't lie to you, I started following our guest and keeping tabs on her career and life ever since designer Rahul Laurel put her in one of his jumpsuits and named it the Myrza jumpsuit because he said this girl looked so much like me in the modeling days of my youth. Aray? Square jaw, high forehead, small eyes, small nose, and all. As in, if I had a child, wag naman child, twin na lang, she would be our guest today. As in, ang kapal ko. As if, di ba? I'm not worthy, but she certainly is. Please welcome the UP Chemical Engineering graduate and violinist from Laguna turned Pinay supermodel currently making waves in the London fashion scene during a pandemic at that. Ella Eiveren Lubag. Hi, Ella.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. We do
How are
look like a
you?
twin, I would agree.
How are you?
I'm good. It's just so cold here in London, but finally I've gotten to adjust to the weather. Pero I'm good po.
How
Kamusta
cold
po?
is it exactly? Like, what's the temperature?
I think last night was around 2 degrees, but it feels like -1 degrees. And it
Wow.
started snowing in London last night. So,
Wow. Wow.
yes, I haven't.
Is that the
Yeah,
new thing? It's not usual.
Based from the locals, from past 3 years ago, bihira mag-snow sa
Right.
London. In other parts of England, it snows, but in London,
Right.
not much. So, I'll try
Right.
to see it later.
Kumusta na yung bangs mo? Pengen ng tip kasi laging naghihiwalay yung bangs ko.
Lagi ko din pong I do shuffle it a lot. Para
Diba?
hindi siya
Parang may art of bangs.
yeah, very
Anyway,
hard
how's
to
work?
do.
Parang sunod-sunod ang mga post mo. We're all following like your every post to see the developments in your career. And then we're all like cheering you on from around the world. How does that feel?
Thank
And
you so much. I'm overwhelmed nga po with the support. I didn't expect na people would from back home would be cheering for me. But surprisingly, despite the lockdown here in UK, there's still work. They're still allowing people to go out and do shoots and stuff. So I'm surprised because I really had the hard time like having a decision, making a decision whether I should push through
right,
and go to UK during the pandemic because it was like a risk for me. I was like
right,
thinking, would there be jobs when I get here, or I would just probably waste my time here.
right,
So it was a good risk. Yeah.
right. What month or when did you exactly land there?
I landed here on my sister's birthday, October 26th.
Wow.
So I'm turning almost 3 months now this
Oh, wow.
January.
Okay. Parang ang tagal na.
Oo nga po, pero it feels like kahapon lang.
I'll show
Yeah.
them some pictures. Hang on. That's my feeling Ella Ivoren in my youth. Look, with Miss J. Alexander. I don't know if you know
Wow.
Miss J from America's Next Top Model. Ayan. And here are
Wow.
your posts from, I think this was your day one. Yan ba yun?
Um, I
Or
think it's my first week in
first
UK
week. And
in my
then first week pa
agency.
lang, pinaghubad na sa ledge.
Yes, for my snaps. Pressure. That was
Yun.
my first sec. This one of my first jobs. This is I think my second test shoot.
Wow. Maybe give us a brief cuento about what it's like for a new model, once you land. Where do
Uh-huh.
you live? Are you paying for the apartment? What do
Mhm.
you do initially? What is a test shoot? Konting kwento dyan about it.
So when I first arrived in London, I went straight to the model's house, and it's actually a memorable day because sobrang haba nung flight, almost a day. And then when I got to London, I should be doing quarantine, pero parang sabi ng agency ko,
Dead
just yeah, Dedma, just pretend you had quarantine and go straight to the casting. Because I had two castings. My flight was delayed, So I was late at my first casting. Ngarag pa ako because I don't know how to go around London. I don't know how to use their trains. So
Wow.
I was like, bahala na. I guess out of like adrenaline rush, I forgot to eat the whole day. Like
Wow.
I went, I think my last meal during that day was like 4 a.m. And then I went back home was like maybe 6 or 7 p.m. na. And then that's
Wow.
when I'm hungry. And then it's just so different from the Philippines. Sobrang nakakapanibago po. I felt so naive just going to the casting. And
Right.
then I felt naive like being in a entirely different environment, you know.
Right.
And paano ba? It was also hard for me in other aspects because well, going to London wasn't really I wasn't that prepared. Medyo rush po siya. So and I didn't come from a rich family or wealthy family. So financially it was also hard for me because I'm all on my own.
Right.
So but I think the people that helped me to went to London, like my agency in the Philippines, Mercator, and as well as my mother agency, they helped me a lot to just push through this despite the pandemic. Ayun
Right.
boss, so far it's just really a learning experience. Sobrang dami ko pong
Right.
natutunan because it's really really different from the industry back in the Philippines.
What are some of the struggles that people may not be aware of? Like it might make people think, "Hoy, big time ka na, ano, international model ka na." But what is the maybe the hard part or the parts where mangyak-ngyak ka na araw-araw out of loneliness or what lack of money or
Yeah.
starvation. I remember modeling around Asia. There would be days or
Mm-hmm.
maybe a whole week na walang work, and then parang
Yeah.
pumapatak yung metro kasi may bayad ng rent sa model's apartment, yung
Exactly.
mga expenses. So I
Mm-mm.
just go to the mall and look at all the designer clothes and then cry. Have you experienced days like those? And if so, how did you cope?
That's so true po. That's so true. I guess my hardest part here was my first 3 weeks, I guess. I was
Right,
so homesick.
right,
Tapos it was so cold here. I guess the weather also affected my mood because
right,
I literally don't see much sun. I was so gloomy. I would cry almost every day. I would complain I miss my family. Tapos I was also worried na I still don't have a job. It's just my first week. I guess I'm putting so much pressure on myself now. I have to
right,
pay back all the people that
right,
helped me
right,
back home, you know.
right,
So that gave me too much mental burden.
right,
And
right,
then at the same time, you're also, yeah, like what you've said, model house is not, it's not that cheap.
right, right,
So you're thinking, oh, my money is already going straight to the apartment. I still have no job. Am I worthy enough to be there? Like, I think
right,
this is a mistake. So I guess it's all um, one thing. The biggest lesson that I've learned is that once you try to go and do the industry internationally, you have to be prepared, not just physically, because I
right,
focus myself on being prepared physically, but you should be prepared mentally as well as financially, especially
right,
financially. It's so hard. You, I guess the first few months, you don't expect that you would get paid.
right,
Yun,
right,
lang po.
right,
So it's all on your, like, you have to save, you have to control your expenses kasi it's all, lahat ng expenses mo is on you. You don't get paid as
right.
ASAP when you get a job.
Even flights or
Visas,
fare for the tube na ang mahal-mahal pala sa London.
yes.
And so how did you keep going and what made you keep going and not give up? Apart from this, there's also the added pressure of everybody with social media, but everybody knows that you went there, and so they're expecting you to what bring home something, right? Buti nung time
Yeah, yeah.
namin, nobody man naman will know except your friends that you went there. But parang feeling mo, nakasalalay sa shoulders mo yung what glory ng country or whatever. Feel that pressure.
Yeah.
How did you cope on a day-to-day basis?
Well, what kept me going was my family. Number one was my family because they didn't disagree on my decisions at all. They were just supportive all the way. So I was just thinking na, why would I give up just because I'm having a bit of challenge right now, you know? Sayang naman yung effort na tinulong sa akin ng family ko. And I also went back to my reason why I wanted this in the beginning. Like I had this dream of just trying of becoming a supermodel, you know, and trying to conquer the world. That yes, a Filipina can do it. A Filipina can be like highly a Filipina can be the supermodel nowadays, you know. So I just go back to my reason and starting this. And ayun, it wasn't easy, especially with social media. You would think that, oh, people are judging me if I didn't do well here.
Right,
It's
expectation.
yeah, it's all there, which is somehow a big disadvantage of social media. But yeah, I just have to overcome it in myself because
Right,
I kept on thinking na in this country I'm all on my own. So lahat ng effort, lahat ng ano man tawag dito, lahat is I can only change my situation by changing my perspective, my mindset, and it all efforts is just through me, you
right,
know. Ayun po.
right. And then how soon did the first job come in?
I think second week when I was
Okay.
here,
All right. And what
and
was the first job?
it was funny because my first job was a e-com shoot for a jacket and trench coats. It's called Jacket and Trench
Okay.
London. So
Right, right.
they're one big company. Anyway, it's such a memorable one because my shoot was outside London, and
Okay.
it was early. I have to catch an early train, and
Right.
then I still don't know how to use the tube that much, so I decided to just go use Uber, and
Wow.
then
Mahal.
yeah, medyo mahal. I was still like, hindi pa ako masyado marunong sa pasikot-sikot sa London, and I was scared because it was too dark. So like, sige, let's just get Uber. But then my Uber driver, for some reason, palayo siya sa destination ko.
Ay.
And then, so to make the story short, I missed my train. I was
Oh
like, oh my
no.
gosh, anong gagawin ko? It's my first job. This is so unprofessional of me.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be late an hour. And then anyway, I had no choice but to just get the next train. And then yeah, I was late an hour. I was so disappointed with myself. I just kept saying sorry to the clients. Tapos bumawi na lang ako sa shoot. My
Right.
agent got disappointed, but she's like,
Oh,
"You go slay it. It's already there. Just
right.
don't do it again." So
Right.
ayun, it was very memorable. So after that, in all of my castings and jobs, I am always 30 minutes early.
Right.
So, dito, dito pa naman po, they take time seriously.
Right, ikaw
So,
pa yung maaga, 'di ba? Kung
yeah,
sa Philippines
exactly.
yun, ikaw pa yung maaga. So ngayon, maaga ka na lagi.
Yes, lagi po na maaga. It's not like in the Philippines na, okay lang, Filipino time.
Right. And then sumunod-sunod na yung work? Parang
Yes,
sumunod-sunod na.
after that, actually, another problem that I encountered was that my hair gets easily fades easily.
Oh,
So they're also very strict and kind of perfectionist. Now they want my hair white because
okay.
that's how it is presented in my book.
Right.
So that caused like a delay for my agency to present me in clients kasi nga they want me to fix my hair. And I was like, oh, where should I fix my hair? It's gonna be expensive.
Walang
Kasi
salon
nga,
X deal?
no, tita, wala
Ah!
po. Bakit sa bulsa? Like sa Philippines, you can get X deals eh.
Right.
So anyway, and then when I got my hair fixed, ayun na po, tuloy-tuloy na yung mga
Okay.
booking ng jobs. So yeah, that they
Ito,
wanted that white.
okay. Is this your
And my
real hair ba or is this a wig?
it's my real hair, but it was my first time being blonde,
Right.
so my hair was still virgin fresh.
Right.
Ayun.
So let's take a trip back in time when your hair was not white. Ta-da!
Super nene. Hala, nakita niyo pa yun sa nahalukay niyo pa po yun.
So tell us about this picture. How old are you? What are you doing? And
I think this was
where are you?
2015. My
Oh,
family
okay.
had the New Year's theme to
Right.
celebrate New Year's. The theme was like a kid or
Oh, akala ko tuloy kid ka pa talaga.
no.
Okay.
Ayan.
And many people will be shocked that this is also you.
Yes, that's
This is
me.
so
That's
amazing.
earlier pa. I think that's
So,
probably 2013 pa or 2014
were
during
you
college.
in college and
Yes, one of
were you
my amateur shoots back
you were
then.
already starting to model in school?
Yeah, just with friends po, just for fun. Trying lang.
Right. And then we'll take you even further back and talk about your childhood. Tell us about your childhood in Laguna and your ambition before was to become an astronaut. Wow. Tell us
Yes,
about
that's true.
that.
Okay, well, growing up, I guess people would be shocked to know that I was a shy, very simple girl, like walang kaartehan, hindi marunong mag-makeup. Literally, when I was in freshman, I would just wear t-shirt, pants, and slippers. Literal na
Right.
slippers. And then, super mahiyain po ako. But I grew up in a Christian family, so I grew up in church. I was raised by a Christian family too. My dad's side is lahat sila, their line of it's like part of our family na we're known in the Christian community na my lolo is a pastor in a big church before, you know. So I grew up in a Christian family, and then I just did like, so I'm very active in church. I do song leading, worship leading. My family is also into music, so we're kind of required to learn a musical instrument or so.
Oh,
So
okay.
so at
Kaya.
first, ayun po. So at first, I was just starting to learn piano, but I was like complaining to my dad, Dad, I don't want piano. I really want the violin. And then when an opportunity came up na there's a violin class in my school, that's when my dad surprised me of a violin. And that's when I pursued
Wow.
trying to yes, to learn the violin.
Right.
So I guess all I can say is that there's been a lot of influences in my life, and huge part is growing up in church.
Right.
They've influenced me in who I am right now in a way na I know that I should have a certain standard, which is I should have a certain way of living, a standard of way of living. I should keep, a Christian way of life, to continue to humble myself no matter the where heights I'm going. So I want to always remind myself na I am not where I am
Right.
without the one above. It's all his glory, it's all his blessings for me, it's all his plan. And at the same time, another huge part, I guess, why I shifted from being that mahiyain girl na hindi makausap, hindi ma-sociable, hindi makwento, hindi ma-friendly, into a person na my family was so shocked I would go into pageantry or even
Right,
model. There's like no
right,
hint in my family na someone
right.
would do pageantry and modeling because we're a very conservative family as well. So it started when back in 2012, was it 2012? Yeah, it was 2012. There was a small pageant competition in our subdivision, and typical sa Filipino na, oh, if she's really tall, ipasok mo sa pageant,
Right, automatic.
kahit kahit walang alam sa pageantry, matangkad, sige, pasok mo na yan. So my mom's friends were like pushing my mom to join the pageant, for us to join the pageantry. And me and my sister were like, sige, ano, try lang natin just for fun. And we told my mom na we wouldn't join if we don't have each other. So dapat kaming
Right,
dalawa sasali. And then yeah, so that's how it started. And then tuloy-tuloy yung pageantry. And then so my friends would know that I would join pageants and they would invite me to shoots. And then some would compliment na, oh, you know what? Maybe you should try modeling. Kasi I
right,
think you have alam mo yun, model features,
right,
mapanga. I don't
right,
even see myself as a model before. Like,
right,
really? I would question them na, talaga ba? I don't think so.
right.
I don't think I can do it. So yeah, and then that's how it led me to thinking, oh, maybe I could do modeling. So it's really like if I would go back, it's really so different from how I wanted. When I was a kid, I dreamt of being an astronaut. I actually dreamt of other things like be a writer, to be a scientist. I even
Right,
dreamt of being a president. I was so ambitious back then.
right,
And now it's just so different. I was exposed to a scientific world. Now this is so different to my field. So
right. So I
yeah.
was shocked to see that the name of your thesis is Design, Fabrication, and Preliminary Testing of a Laboratory Scale Thermoelectric Condenser for Distilled Water Production. I'm like, what the? Wow! Ang talino ng batang ito. So, I heard in another interview na when you started taking up chemical engineering, you said, this is so hard. I'm really more interested in walking the runway. How come tinapos mo pa rin? I mean, I know how hard it can be because I took up statistics against my wishes because my
Uh-huh.
parents wanted it. And I
That's
really
also a
hated
hard
it.
course. Oh.
I
Yeah.
really hated it. Pero tinapos ko na lang. So, in your case, it's so easy to when you start making money, right? As many
Yeah.
models do, just drop out of school and then easy money na lang. What made you
Mhm.
persevere?
Um, I'm not gonna lie, po. I had thoughts of just giving up the my course. Like, I would just do modeling, pageantry pala. I would just focus on it, or kaya I can just teach violin to kids. There was a
Right,
thought of that because I wasn't really an excellent student. I had some of my classes failed, and then I had to do it again. To attend classes again because it was just a hard like hindi ko siya, I'm not like one of those um UP students na sobrang magagaling. I'm just an average average one compared to them. But I realized na first I didn't want to disappoint my parents, and at the same time practicality na din because I realized na there's no assurance or there's no sustainability in
right,
terms of yeah, in terms of career and money, financial stability in the chosen field that I want to. So
right,
at least meron pa akong backup plan. And
right,
sayang naman kasi I wanted chemical engineering in the beginning so bad. And then I just realized that I don't see myself in that field eventually nung parang
right,
after 3 years into the course. I was like, sayang yung time. No,
right,
I just and it was also a blessing in disguise because I think if I didn't finish my course and if I pushed through modeling agad, I don't think I would be ripe enough or
right,
prepared enough
right,
to face challenges and in the modeling industry, and at the same time parang magiging sobrang, ano ba, how can I explain? Magiging sobrang naive ako when,
Right.
or like, I'd be too young, or I
Yeah.
wouldn't be a kind of model where I would grasp everything and be practical and be smart, and how I would go in the industry, or how would I make my way, work my way up in the industry, you
Right.
know.
This is something also people don't know. They think it's just learning how to smile or pose, but it
Yes,
really requires grit and mental toughness and
that's so
maturity, which
true.
is why when models give up school and they start like at 14,
Mhm.
it's really frightening because, hindi pa buo yung pagkatao and then
Totoo po. And
i-unleash.
they're also more likely to be taken advantage of.
Right.
So,
And so, you started to model. Look at you here. Parang ang baby-baby mo pa.
yes, that was my first year of modeling.
Right here. And then this was just last year, right? This is the Raho jump.
When I think 2019 na po. I
Okay.
think it was 2019,
So
yeah.
2 years ago.
I
Right.
was so grateful that I got that job. I didn't expect it.
And
Tapos,
then, go
mhm,
ahead.
sorry.
Tapos,
And then it was a bit of pressure because I remember during that shoot, Rahul was watching us.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Siyempre. And then, uh, how did the shift happen? Because when I look back at this girl, she's really not this girl. So when
Yeah.
did the kumbaga paradigm shift in your look happen? I remember when I was young, as a teenager, I felt so ugly because of my square jaw, my high forehead, my small eyes, my small nose, because we were not accustomed to standards of beauty that were more diverse, such as today, right? If
Yes.
you can
Exactly.
just imagine, in every magazine, everyone was mestiza and she had like an oval face, big
Mm-hmm,
eyes,
mm-hmm.
right? So it wasn't until I got exposed to magazines like Vogue where I saw people who look like me. Like, teka, parang ako rin yan, mukhang alien blockhead. Mukhang maganda pala ako in another world. So when did your paradigm shift happen? Na instead of looking like a beauty queen, and you said there were pressures for you, for example, to get surgery or to change your face. Tell us about that shift and how it happened and what made you embrace your look.
So my last pageant was in China. I represented Philippines. And then it's true that um my handler, some people in the pageant industry are also telling me na, oh, actually, meron na nga po akong sponsor nun to have a nose
Oh my
lift.
gosh.
Yes, I already had a sponsor, and I was like, I was almost convinced to do it, just for the sake na to win a pageant. Kasi nga po, it's true what you said po, that the standards, beauty standards when we grew up is so different. Filipinos tend to like more mestiza.
Right.
I remember growing up being envy with my cousin because she's half German, half Filipina, and she really looks different and she's so pretty. I have nothing against her, but I would see the favoritism and I would think to myself, why are they treating me differently compared to her? I don't understand it. I don't get it. And so I kind of, I had a hard time accepting my physical attributes that I have. And then, good thing I didn't accept that offer, that nose lift offer. Because after that pageant, I went straight to joining Global Asian Model.
Right.
And fortunately, luckily, I guess it's also God's blessing that I won this pageant. I won
Right.
this modeling competition, sorry. And that's when I realized, I guess, um, that's when I realized, I think, that I just have to be myself. Because
Right.
in pageantry, there's such a tendency of becoming someone you're not, like someone
Right.
who's you're supposed to be so posh, you're supposed to be very feminine, you're supposed
Right.
to act in a certain way. And like in modeling, you just have to be yourself, you
Right.
know? Especially in shoots, which I love. Uh, the thing about shoots that I love is that in test shoots and collab shoots, I can just be who I want to be.
Right.
I can just be myself. I can express myself in different poses, in different crazy poses, and I don't have to act in a certain feminine way, which is, or so I guess modeling opened my eyes. Na I just have to accept who I am. I just have to
Right.
accept how I look, and I am beautiful in a unique way, and no one has this look. It's just me, and why would I be someone that just to para lang maging pasok sa standards ng mundo. So, I guess
Right.
yeah,
And
modeling teach me a lot.
how did you know and believe that you were beautiful? Like when you look back at this girl, did you ever think that she could be this girl? Like when you say just be yourself, did this girl know that to be herself is to be this girl? Like how did it all come out? I'm sure you had to evolve somehow and may mindset change din na nangyari siguro.
Mhm, mhm. Um, I don't think it was a sudden change. So I'm just looking at the other girl with too much makeup.
Right.
I'm realizing this girl had so many insecurities back then. And then I'm looking at my photos right now. This girl still has insecurities, but she knows now how to accept herself. So I don't think it was such a drastic change for me.
Right.
Um, paano ba? I guess,
Kasi parang when they cut your hair, first of all, whose idea was it to make your hair blonde?
it was Jing Moni's
Jing
idea.
Monis. Hello, Jing Monis.
Yeah, the
So he
winning
went,
hair look.
Jing Monis also gave me my winning hair look when he chopped off all my hair. My hair was long and I was modeling in Hong Kong and not very successful. And then one
Yeah.
day he just chopped off all my hair and then I cried in the salon because
Oh,
from long it became a boycott. And then
yeah.
I cried, and then he cried, and then I said, paano na yan? And pagbalik ko sa Hong Kong, my agent said, you must thank whoever cut your hair because now you have a look. And I'm sure you felt the same way. So would you
Yeah.
say that your new look gave birth to a new you that you didn't know that you had?
Well, okay, well, Jing gave me this yung bangs and then yung parang bob cut look. Pero I was still black hair pa. And then
Ah, tama.
having blonde hair was just by accident, just through a job.
Okay.
So I guess yes, it did help me a lot. It did give me like an edgy, more model look.
Right.
It emphasized my features, which is unique. I mean, mas nakita yung panga, mas nakita
Right.
yung singkit na eyes.
Right.
So,
Kumbaga, yung features na try itago ng pageant world, 'di ba? Ngayon,
exactly.
in-embrace mo and then yun na lang, gano'n mapanga ha, etong panga.
Mm-mm. Yes, well, that's so true. And then I guess through because I adore Kokorocha as so much as
Okay.
well. And
Right.
then I thank her because she was my inspiration
The
in
queen
most
of
of my
poses.
shoot and just
Right.
embracing and doing creative poses. I guess by just being out of my comfort zone and like having that inspiration of Kokorocha, I slowly discovered myself of who and what type of model I want to be, and
Right.
and I started to believe what I can become as well, or what I can achieve in the industry too. So
Right. And so
mhm.
what is that sort of brand template of who you want to be? Like are there words to describe it like when you are attacking every shoot and trying to, make a statement about who you are? What goes through your head or what is the image that you want the world to know about who Ella Eiveren is?
I guess I don't want to be the pretty model. I want to
Right,
be the crazy, bold, fierce model who just do crazy poses, and she just makes it look good despite how crazy it looks behind the scene. When you do this crazy poses, parang mahihiya ka, or people would think, hey, is that even gonna look good in photos? So I
right,
want to be that model na she wants to try and she wants to be challenged. She wants to
right,
challenge herself. She wants to challenge her creativity. She doesn't
right,
want to be in she doesn't want to be in a certain way or act in a certain way. She doesn't want to follow a certain guideline in being a
right.
model. She just want to try crazy stuff out of her comfort zone and just continuing to challenge herself. So I guess I would describe myself as a bold, fierce, crazy model.
Wow. And I'm sure everyone's taking notice. I mean, it's evidence not just by your work, but what are some of the comments that photographers, makeup artists, or even your agent say that make you feel good? Like, anong mga comments nila about you?
Um, well, I don't really want to brag po, but
Brag na
every
brag.
time
It's your
But every
turn.
time I do a shoot, I ask them, hey, do you think I'm doing enough? If you have more comments, if you have criticisms, just tell me, and I would do more if you want me to do more poses. But here in London, actually they've complimented me na it was really easy to work with me. Um, Recent one, Nasty Girl, they really love the photos.
Right,
Sephora, they wanted me back, so I'm gonna work with them again. So, ayun po, I guess me being open and me being somehow like a sponge where I just
right,
grasp every criticism, anything that would help me grow, help me learn,
right,
also made me a better model too,
right,
and would also make me, because I want to be easy to work with. Yun pa yung lagi kong
right,
iniisip sa shoot. I want my clients to love me more. So, ayun.
right. How do you get better? Like all those poses, they just don't come out of the blue, right? Do you practice
Mhm.
a lot? Do you set aside time to train yourself to get better? What are some of the things that you do to prepare?
I guess my practice po, I don't really do practicing at home kasi I don't know. It feels weird. It feels different. Feels different. So, what I do, actually, my friend advised me when I was just starting. She advised me na even if there's no work, just try anything that would come your way.
Right,
So I remember just having no jobs for the first 2 months back in the Philippines. I was a starting model in the Philippines. First 2 months, I really didn't have any jobs at all. But then photographers are messaging me, "Hey, do you want to collab?" And
for
I
test
just
shoots.
kept on saying yes. And
Okay,
then that's when I realized, oh, this collab shoots. Sige, I should try and what's
join
this?
lang
I
ng
should
join.
Yes, exactly. Join lang ng join. Discover ano yung kaya kong magawa from this, and ano yung pwede kong matutunan from this. And I realized that through those test shoots, it actually prepared me for actual jobs when jobs come in na. So I was already prepared. And then even though I had jobs, I would still accept collab shoots. So I guess my practice was test shoots.
Right. And do
True.
you do
Mhm.
test shoots also in London or puro work na?
Yes, I still do test shoots in London, pero recently po kasi medyo strict na po yung rules in
Ah,
terms of
okay.
lockdown. So, medyo mahina na po yung test shoots. But yes, I still do test shoots in London.
Wow. So how long are you gonna stay there pa?
So I've been we're planning to extend another 3 months, but
Yay!
but it's still not sure po if I'm gonna finish the 3 months or it will weigh it po on the jobs. But me and my mother agency are planning na we'll try other parts of Europe, especially in
Wow.
Milan.
Oh my
So
gosh.
hopefully that would work out. And then after that, hopefully would try to go to America in market naman po by
Right,
next year. So everything is just really uncertain po as of now because we
right.
know our industry is really very uncertain. So let's see.
That's so
Let's see po.
exciting. And so during my time, kasi I'm 5'7" only, and during my time when I was gonna try Europe, everyone was saying, "No, you're too short." But now you're even taller than a little bit taller than me, but it's not a
Mag-inch lang po.
problem, right? It's not a problem at all, right? Have you ever been told you're too short
No, actually. I think
for
I guess
runway?
po
For runway,
we I guess but I just got lucky that the modeling industry now is more diverse, like what you've
yes,
said.
correct.
Nobody is too small right now. I have co-models as well in my agency that are shorter than me. I think meron pa po atang 5'6", I guess.
Okay,
But
wow.
so the industry is more accepting na, and they're not, especially for e-com shoots
Right,
and lifestyle shoots, they're more open to different body types, different heights, more diverse. So I guess I was just lucky that the modeling industry has now evolved compared to
right,
before na they're very strict. Now you just have to be so thin,
right,
you have to
right,
be so tall, you
right.
know. Yeah.
And speaking of thin, parang meron kang pinost na napapakain ka dahil malamig. Which I think conveys the struggle that most models have about eating and their body image. Uh, how do you cope with this, and what do you do to not be unhealthy and yet still meet whatever standards are still required when it comes
Yes.
to weight?
That's so true. So I had a hard time adjusting in my diet here for the first few weeks kasi it's so cold. Ang sarap magkape every minute. I am such a coffee addict. And then you want to eat so much because you want, alam mo yun, I don't know, maybe it's the cold weather that makes you want to eat more. And at the same time, it's so hard to exercise kasi ang sarap lang humiga, it's so cold. But yeah, so to get back on track, I just remembered na I just keep on thinking na I modeling is a lifestyle, modeling is a commitment, it's a job, and it's not just what people think na, oh, you just have to look good, you just have to like post good and stuff. No, it's actually more of a dedication, a commitment, a lifestyle. You have to maintain a certain lifestyle, and because it's a career, it's a job. And then at the same time, parang hindi pa ako I, the thing is, I struggled before in the past in how to maintain a diet where I don't feel mentally
Right,
drained, or I don't feel so guilty about myself
right,
na to the point that I deprive myself of food. So I somehow changed my mindset on that. And I think now that my diet should be healthy, not because I want to be slim, but because I want to have I want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I want to exercise not because I want to be slim or I want to lose weight, but because I just want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So that helped me a lot in um just maintaining my diet and being consistent, especially in
right.
exercises. So that helped me po.
Right. And what do the other models do? Like in the model's apartment, wala bang carbs sa buong fridge or what?
I was shocked actually.
Or
I
meron
was
din?
I was shocked, but the models that I've lived with, they don't really do much exercise. Like,
Right,
siguro po
right.
dalawa lang kami na roommate ko na
Nag-exercise.
nag-exercise. And they were eating anything that they want, but in mostly just small quantities. Pero they're eating not really in a healthy way. So I would
Oh.
see them sometimes eat a whole pizza for
Ha!
themselves. And
Uh-oh.
then the other model I would see, she would be eating instant noodles. I'm like, that's so unhealthy. Pero, ayun,
Baka
just
naman they're
surprising.
16 years old kaya nabu-burn pa.
Oh.
What do you want to say to young women, Pinays especially, who like you and me when they were young did not think they were beautiful or worthy and wanted to change? Maybe it doesn't have to be look. Sometimes you are pressured or expected to change your ways in ways that society wants you to change. What is your message for them based on how you have evolved and how you claimed who you really are and how you really look and made it your asset instead of your flaw?
Hmm. I guess it's cliche, but you really just have to accept yourself. And I just have to warn them that it's not easy. It's so easy to tell girls or to tell people, just accept yourself, but it's not an easy task. It's actually a journey of self acceptance. It's a lifestyle, it's a continuing process. So as long as you stop comparing yourself to others, especially it's harder nowadays
Right.
because of social media, you know. But I guess what kept me thinking of not comparing myself is that I growing up in a Christian family, it's stuck in my mind that I am created beautifully and wonderfully made by God. I am a unique creation. And so yeah, just start on believing yourself. Kasi in this world, you really can't, hindi mo pwedeng asahan yung ibang tao kundi yourself. So who would believe in yourself? Who would start to believe in yourself kundi sarili mo? So, ayun, if you want to achieve a certain goal, if you want to achieve a certain dream, it all starts in believing in yourself.
Right. And how do you keep going? What's your advice for people who have a dream or maybe a plan or a goal and
Mhm.
when it gets tough, sometimes they just give up because they just can't go on. What is your advice for them to develop resilience and grit
Yeah.
and keeping their eye on the prize?
Well, I'm not really a perfect person. Na I've always kept my eyes on the goal, on the prize. I'm not gonna lie, I've also had doubts of just giving up too. But the thing is, failure is part of success. I guess a huge thing that made us give up so much is that we think of failure as such a negative thing. We think
Right,
of failure as something na nakakahiya, especially in the Filipino culture. Like if you
right,
fail, people
right,
would judge you so much.
right,
But we should try to always think that failure is a learning process. It's how we're going to be better. It's how we're going to make new strategies in order for us to achieve that goal that we want. And sometimes, if things don't go if things don't go according to plan, you just have to find another way around or try to risk something. You know, for example, in my case, my plan was to go to UK in March, but then lockdown happened. And then I had to wait for a few months. I had to just do nothing. I literally had no jobs back in the Philippines that much during quarantine. And then what did I do? I took a risk of going to UK. And then surprisingly, it was a success. So sometimes you just have to grab that risk if you feel na I know I have this instinct. I know I can do it if I try to accept this risk. So and it wasn't going to UK at the pandemic wasn't an actual plan for me, wasn't the initial plan for me. So yeah, I guess that's it. You know, try to kumbaga, think of other ways to solve a problem when you're being challenged or when your situation is trying to challenge you. Ayun po.
Right. And that's the UP engineer training that taught
Yeah, I
me
guess.
a scientific approach to solving a problem. Right. So
Mhm.
you can engineer your life.
Trial and error.
What? Wow. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Ella.
so much po. I enjoyed this chikahan,
Right.
kwentuhan.
Right. Sana may time pa tayo. But I just have to greet some of the followers and viewers. Thank you for user 7053, Siorha, Kayselin Carvajal. Thank you for all the hearts. Sana you can give diamonds
Hello.
also. Hello from Ella, and follow her also on Kumu. Where else can they follow you?
They
Instagram.
can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, just on Twitter too, and on TikTok. All my usernames are Ella Eiveren.
Right. Ano ba yung Ivorin? Is that your given name or is that your middle name or
It's my first name, so I have two first name. It's Ella
oh
Eiveren. My
right.
parents were just really creative. They figured out Eiveren. Yun
Right.
po.
Thank you so much, Ella. You
Thank you
gave
so
us so
much
much
po.
inspiration and hope and hopefully motivation. Whether or not you want to be a top international model like Ella, you can apply everything she talked about in your life in whatever field. And maybe what some people don't realize is your 20s is just one phase of your life. Speaking from someone who is no longer in her 20s, when I was modeling
Still looking
internationally, I
20s.
thought, thanks to the bank, akala mo end of the world na pag hindi mo na-meet yung goal mo in your 20s. Pero
Yeah.
madami pang decades yan. And so, when I look back, I'm just thankful that I was brave and I did what I wanted to, even if I was scared. Because later on,
Mhm.
all these experiences will matter and will help you carve the next phase of your life. So thank you
So
so
true.
much, Ella.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this session with you. Thank you
Me
so
too.
much.
All right. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.